Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Cara DeFalco along with Mike Favetta. And Mike, there's a new bill in Trenton that could restrict police departments from sharing body cam footage with the public. Joining us now to talk about it is Sophie Nieto-Munoz, a reporter from the New Jersey Monitor. Good morning, Sophie. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me on.
Sophie, you wrote an article for the New Jersey Monitor about this. Can you read it at newjerseymonitor.com? And you can read it at newjerseymonitor.com. What sparked a bill like this to be written?
Sure. So this bill, basically what it does is it would prohibit sharing body cam footage obtained through public records requests. So the sponsor said that one of the big reasons for this bill is that there has been what they say is an uptick in YouTube videos, TikTok channels, and other social media sites posting interactions of young women and law enforcement, young women being arrested for DUI, just interacting with police. So they say that this bill aims to stop that. But of course, there are a lot of transparency concerns over how broad this bill is and the impacts that it would have beyond just, protecting those specific videos from getting out.
Yeah, it does sound kind of, like it opposes the original reason why we did this. So as we dig in a little bit deeper, what would be the opposition, additional opposition to restricting that body cam footage? If I recall, when this became a policy that, all officers would wear it and that it would be available to the public, there was a very good reason for that.
Right, of course. So this, of course, wouldn't stop the capturing of that footage, and you could still obtain it. So you could still get it through a public records request. You just can't share it. So that would mean you can't post it on YouTube, but that would also mean that the press wouldn't be able to request a, let's say, police brutality footage and post that. Lawyers wouldn't be able to request footage and use it during court. The only way you would be able to do that is if you have written consent of everybody in the video, which the question also comes to, who does that responsibility fall to? Is it the cops who have to reach out to those people, the clerks who are fulfilling the request? So there's that whole issue. And then just transparency in general, this comes on the heels of a huge effort to overhaul OPRA, which is the state's public records law. So this kind of goes into more of those transparency concerns and whether lawmakers are trying to restrict what the public can see. And, what are those reasons behind it? What are they, is it really a problem?
And I think this brings up a question of precedent. Do you think a bill like this could set a precedent that maybe impacts the public's access to information for other things from the government?
Oh, yeah, of course. I think that this could be just kind of a small step to seeing how far that they can push the state's, how people respond to the state's records request. Last month, like I said, there was this big push to renew OPRA or revamp OPRA, and we saw a lot of members from the public come out and speak out against it in a way that I haven't seen on any other bill. And, public records requests, it's a really administrative topic. It's not something that gets people going, So I think that this could potentially be like a piecemeal approach of seeing what those statutes or aspects of OPRA they could start to push through. Now, this wasn't in the original OPRA bill, but there's a lot of conversations around transparency right now, and it seems really convenient that they're both being introduced and discussed at the same time.
Interesting stuff, Sophie. So what is next for this bill? I mean, does it have legs in Trenton? Is this something we're really looking at, or is it just kind of something we're talking about, but it might not really get much further than that?
I mean, who's to say what happens in Trenton, right? It's not up so it still needs to go to committee before it goes for a full vote. It has not been scheduled for committee in either the Assembly or the Senate. What I think is interesting, though, is the two Senate sponsors are Senator Tony Bucco and Senator Brian Stack, both people who are pretty powerful in Trenton. Their bills go on their names go on pretty important bills. So it really is to be seen whether this bill moves forward. And I think a lot of it also depends on what happens with the broader OPRA bill and how they move forward with that.
Sophie Nieto-Munoz from New Jersey Monitor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me, guys. Have a good one.
You too. You know, it's so interesting, Mike, and we've talked about this a lot on this show where, I almost wonder if the approach is, because it sounds like she's saying, well, the average person should not be able to access those videos and then post them on social media as a form of entertainment or even but it does impact journalism. It impacts, legal things. And it almost makes me wonder if, and I think society as a whole would benefit from this, there might be some way to register journalists and true journalistic enterprises and, be able to say, okay, well, these people who meet these criteria and get this, the blue check mark, if you will, are allowed to do this. And if you don't have that, you can't just do it.
And the state police already have a registration like that for media. So, there's already the avenues in place in order to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Well, Mike, it has been a heck of a week here in New Jersey. So we had an earthquake, we've had some flooding, we had a solar eclipse. What about a meteor? Now, let's just add to it. There have been reports from folks in South Jersey and Pennsylvania that they saw what they believe was a meteor, and it happened just before 4 a.m. on Wednesday, and some got a glimpse from Margate near Atlantic City. The American Meteor Society shows several reports of this sighting, and there have been a number of videos and images of it on social media. You and I were looking it up earlier. There's something happened. There's something to see there for sure.
There is. Now with everybody having the doorbell cameras, you could see kind of every vantage point and every view. And that's helpful for the American Meteor Society to kind of pinpoint of where it occurred. Usually with all of that information, they develop a map. And that map would show the streak across the sky of where the meteor happened. It didn't sound like there was the shock that you would kind of typically hear with fireworks that happened this time, which means it was very, very high in the sky or maybe too small. But a lot of times, these meteors that come through the atmosphere, they're the size of a fleck of paint. I mean, that's how small it is. But because they're traveling at 25,000 miles an hour, they burn up and they cause that bright streak in the sky. So some really unique sights across the Northeast.
It's been a week in New Jersey. It definitely has. All right. Well, something a little sweet here. Studies show that singing can help maintain strength in the muscles of speech and voice in people with Parkinson's disease. So what better way to keep those vocal cords warm than by singing the national anthem at Yankee Stadium, as a group of special Parkinson's patients recently got to do. Let's take a listen.
Direct your attention to the microphones behind home plate. Our guests are a choir of people with Parkinson's disease and Parkinson's plus syndromes who meet weekly to rehearse songs to exercise their speech muscles. So please welcome the Parkinsons. They will now sing our national anthem.
Wow, the Parkinsons, Kara, really awesome. So joining us now to talk about this momentous occasion is Janice Dibling, Manager of Acute and Inpatient Rehabilitation Speech Pathology at Hackensack Meridian JFK Johnson Rehabilitation Institute and Director of the Parkinson's Choir and Parkinson's patient Donna Mastropolo. Welcome to you both.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
So Janice, as the director of the Parkinson's Choir, can you share with us the journey that led up to the choir's performance at Yankee Stadium?
Sure. In 2019, we received a community grant from the Parkinson's Foundation in order to establish a community program that might support PD patients. And as speech pathologists, of course, we're concerned with voice and swallowing and speech intelligibility. This is a program that allows our choir members to maintain the skills they've achieved here at JFK JRI in speech. We have a multidisciplinary program with PTOT speech and many other services, but this allows them to maintain this. With Parkinson's disease, people are often afflicted with a very low vocal volume. So this encourages good intelligibility, better communication, and exercise. And we all know that with exercise, we can delay effects of Parkinson's.
Wow. So, Donna, as a Parkinson's patient and member of the choir, how did it feel to perform at such an iconic venue like Yankee Stadium?
Words can't describe it. It was amazing. Excuse me. Just chills, and I just listening to it, I still get chills. I mean, it was just fantastic. And being a Yankee fan, to stand on that field and sing that song, there's nothing in the world like it.
Well, you guys did an incredible job. It was definitely something to hear. I was very impressed. Janice, how did the collaboration between the Rehabilitation Institute and the Parkinson's Foundation contribute to the success of the event?
Well, we want to get the word out there to our country, to our state, out there to people for awareness. This is Parkinson's Awareness Month. Today is actually Parkinson's Day. And for a lot of reasons, awareness to disabilities, but also career opportunities, and most importantly, for these people to live well with this and understand that coming out and participating and establishing the camaraderie and support that they gain from each other is so critical in their journey. This was exhilarating for them, and the Yankees could not have been kinder to us in this experience. So it just goes to show that there really is such wonderful support out there in the community, and that's our goal.
Now, Donna, can you describe how this singing has had an impact on your Parkinson's journey, physically, emotionally? Describe that for us.
Well, it's helped my voice tremendously. I do have days where it's still a little, funky, but for the most part, it's helped tremendously with that, and it's also helped with my confidence. I would never have thought that I would be able to stand up in Yankee Stadium and sing the national anthem in front of, 30, 40,000 people. But the confidence it has given me, the camaraderie we have built within the group, we support each other, and we've become a family. And that helps tremendously as well.
I think in any challenge, having that sense of community is really the thing that helps most people. Janice, as you look back on this performance, what do you hope it accomplishes in terms of raising awareness about Parkinson's disease and then the importance of music therapy?
Right. I hope that people, oftentimes with Parkinson's, people are very, very focused on the physical tremor. And obviously walking is very important and self-care, but there's not always an awareness of the communication aspect and how that can be improved through speech pathology services. So I think that this increases awareness, and I think that it encourages people who would not describe themselves as singers to come out and join something like this, to be able to sustain and maintain function.
Janice, just briefly before we let you go, is there a website? If there's, how can people sign up to be a part of the choir if this is something that they've got a recent diagnosis or what have you? How do they get involved?
Yes, we are at JFK Johnson Rehab Institute. We're part of the Hackensack Meridian Health System. We do have a website. It will bring you directly into the Parkinson's section. It's kind of categorized by disease process, and our choir is free. We meet weekly, both virtually and in person, depending, because we went all through COVID. We started this in 2019, and so it was virtual for a while. And we've done so many performances in the past year out in the community at different levels of students. We're trying to educate people, but our website is readily available.
Amazing. Janice and Donna, thank you so much for your time this morning. Donna, you did an amazing performance. Thank you both again. We hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for having us.
You know, Mike, what a thing to see. And I have to tell you, my grandmother had Parkinson's, and I do remember her voice getting very low. She became difficult to hear, and then obviously eating became an issue. And you know, what a wonderful way. There's so much that singing actually helps with that we don't even really fully understand. So what a beautiful way.
And how patriotic.
Right?
So pleasant. Yeah, that was nice to hear first thing on a Thursday morning. Well, Kara, you're watching the New Jersey Morning Show. You can stream us live and watch the replay of our live show anytime on NewJersey.com.